Well, when it comes down to figuring out which one you should own, well, it comes down to a bunch of personal preferences. Skyfire Aerial is made of a carbon fiber material called PETG. This mount, when it goes up against the controller, it uses the stock bolt hole that had the original phone mount on it. So you take that off, that screw comes out, this goes on, but this mount, there's 4 little lugs in there. If you look, see the 4 little lugs around the screw hole? That this actually fits right into. It locks it in place. That screw is not really doing anything but just holding the bracket against the controller. But all that stress that's on that bracket, that's all transferred to those 4 lugs. This, it does not have the lugs on it in the back for that screw area. How this actually goes together. You have one screw here on the back that mounts to another part that screws into the stock mounting hole for the phone mount off these Autel controllers. So you got one screw here that you take out. There's that. And then this whole assembly will come off. Okay. This part just screws into that screw. That's the stock mounting hole there. There are no lugs on this aluminum mount here. You see how that can move around? So all the stress that anything that's mounted on this is transferred to this little mount and that little screw. There's nothing else that supports that. This is it. These buttons on the back of the controller are always being hit, and your fingers that are up here, there's nothing that protects them, and they protrude up a little bit, so you end up hitting them all the time. Well, Skyfire came up with this little deal, and it helps big time in protecting those. This slides, it's got a nice little indentation here. See the things there like that? This goes right into there, it locks it in. Then the whole assembly goes right on. It's locked in. Put the screw back in. Look at how it protects the buttons now. It's a nice raised area so that your fingers can lay against that rather than on the buttons. This bottom bracket, call it the wing. It's got these indentations here and this protrusion for the shoulders that goes into the opening on the handles of your controller. It snaps right in there. This snaps right in and shoulders up against the controller just like that. And that hole lines up. I'm going to put the big Phillips screw back in it. I don't have the thumb screws with me at the moment. That back down, tighten that up, and there it is. It's pretty much all back together except for the mount, and that's not going anywhere. Something else that I really like about this is this extended foot in the deluxe model of this mount. When you put that down, it's not going to fall over. It's a great addition, well thought out. Here's the LifThor ball mount. This little screw is this little shoulder is the one that I have a problem getting tight enough sometimes so that this part doesn't rotate on that ball. This just goes down on top like that. That collar comes up there and then you have to tighten it up. For a small tablet that doesn't weigh as much as the Crystal Sky, it might be just fine. But that's the issue that I have with this mount. Okay, the Skyfire aerial mount. This is the screw that has the detents on it that you can feel. You undo that, take that all the way out. This slides off. You can see the little detents in there, hopefully. loosening that up there, but you can feel the detents in it when you move it around. It'll lock in place. It'll lock in wherever you put it, and it's not going to move. The other thing that I like about this is you see the mount into the controller for the cable? It's wide open. You see that on the LifThor? Your connection down here is behind this little rubber flap. There, you can see that? Yeah. Well, the problem with that is that when your connector's in there, because this little rubber flap is always pushing up on it. I've never had it disconnect on me, but I've always had trouble accessing that port because this rubber flap interferes with the opening in this bracket. That bracket opening should be a little bit lower in my opinion, but hey, I got to give it to them. They built a really nice bracket. The problem that I had though with it was that getting the nut that tightens down on the ball tight enough so that this doesn't move around on me, that was a problem. Which one? I think it's obvious. The Skyfire is the one that I would recommend. If you have any questions about this stuff, please leave it in the comment section. I'll get to it just as soon as I can. Hey, if you're getting anything out of these, I sure hope that you are. Please go ahead and subscribe. It's maybe over there. I'm not. It's in one of these corners. Anyways, subscribe if you would. Check us out. We have a number of other videos out there, and we're going to be doing some more. Until next time, fly often, fly safe, and always do the right thing. Bob out.